and welcome to a Slacker's Guide podcast. We'll be sharing tips on business plans, technology trends, health improvement, and much more. Let's get started with your host, Achilles Penn.
Hello and welcome to another episode of a Slacker's Guide podcast. I'm your host, Achilles Penn, and today we will discuss some proven advice that will enhance your vacation trip once and for all. Yes, it will. Before we start, please visit us at AchillesPenn.com, follow us on Twitter at AchillesPenn, subscribe to our YouTube page, Achilles Penn, follow us on Instagram, and everywhere else social media is available. Now let's get started. Simplify your trip experience. From packing your bags correctly and boarding your flight to exchanging your money and finding the best places to eat and sleep abroad, a trip can quickly turn into a very complicated venture. Make sure you approach traveling with the knowledge necessary to pull your trip off without a hitch. Check out this podcast to find out how. So how do you say? Study up on the language of the area you are planning to travel to before you leave. Language barriers can be tricky. You can imagine in a foreign country without speaking a language. Even so, it is always a good idea to brush up on important words like police or hospital. Get precise, up-to-date information when planning to travel to a foreign country, especially about how to make hotel bookings or locate sites of interest ahead of time. Often, maps or travel guides won't go into the amount of detail necessary, so make sure you have a custom map that shows everything you'll need. Health insurance. Health insurance coverage while on your trip. When planning an overseas trip or any dangerous outing, check with your health insurer to see your coverage. Most health insurance companies will not cover injuries incurred during a wide variety of hazardous activities. Many will not cover health costs incurred overseas. You might need to purchase a unique traveler's insurance for your health. Should you take out insurance on your tickets? One decision you need to make when taking a trip is whether to buy travel insurance at all. If you are flying to New York and the ticket only costs $150, it's not worth paying another $50 to cover that trip in case of cancellation. However, the extra expense may be worth it for an expensive trip. For instance, you need to know that you will not lose money in the event of a cancellation of a $4,000 vacation. Learn some lingo. Learning some common lingo when traveling abroad. Traveling to a foreign country can be fun, but not knowing what the locals are saying is not. Carry a small book of common phrases and translations to help you on your trip. A phrase book or app can help when you need to ask for directions or book a hotel room for the night. Arriving early creates less stress. You should always arrive early at the airport when you are flying. It is so much less stressful knowing that you are checked in and through security with time to spare. It will give you time to use the restroom or grab a snack before the flight starts boarding. A little bit more than small talk. If you want to make a conversation with the locals, learn a little magic trick. Magic is something that is almost universally understood. If you perform a little trick for someone, you will open a door to having an actual conversation with the person. Simple methods are easy to learn, so look one up. Get better informed with user reviews. Before going on any vacation or trip, read the reviews. Read comments about the local restaurants around the area that you are staying in. Also, read reviews about the hotel that you are visiting. Lastly, the car service that you are using if you are renting a car. These reviews can help make your trip much better. Join a travel forum before you go anywhere. Select a destination that you are going and join a forum related to the area or service you are using. These people have plenty of experience in their travels and will give you helpful advice on where to go, eat, and stay. Plan ahead for emergencies before going on a trip. If you travel with multiple people, distribute everyone's items across multiple suitcases. Usually every person has their bag, but we recommend you pack each bag with a few of all travelers' belongings. This way, you can be sure that nobody will be left without all their belongings if one of the bags is lost. Organizing your electronics. If you travel with many electronics, pack a power strip. Though hotels have electrical outlets available, it is not uncommon for each person to have 2 or 3 items to charge their device every night. A power strip can keep the cords relegated to one area instead of strewn all over the room. Prepare for medical emergencies. If you have diabetes and are traveling, plan ahead. Get a doctor's note explaining that you have diabetes or wear a medical alert bracelet. Take enough insulin with you and even some extra if possible. Pack snacks such as juices, peanut butter, and sugar cubes or packets for emergencies. Dress in comfortable and loose clothing and shoes. Don't forget drinks and snacks. When going on a trip, think ahead and pack a cooler full of drinks and snacks for the journey. You are bound to get hungry along the way, especially if it is a long distance trip. Many people don't think about doing this. They have to stop and waste money at some stores along the way for goodies that they can easily pack before leaving. Plan out those bathroom breaks during your trip. Make sure to plan your road trips accordingly, and that includes time for restroom break. A few minutes here or there will not throw your schedule off dramatically. Plus, doing this makes it less likely that your fellow travelers will be in a bad mood. Consider your sleep schedule. When planning a trip with small children, it would be in everyone's best interest to plan it around their usual sleep schedule. Some parents take advantage of late nights when their kids will be asleep for most of the trip, while other parents travel around their kids' nap times. Pack a day early before your trip. A great travel trip that can save you a lot of time is to pack your belongings into the car the night before you leave on a road trip. If you decide to pack all your things the moment you go, you'll never leave by the time that you originally planned to leave. To sum it all up, traveling doesn't have to be complicated if you know how to approach it. Take your time to read informative articles or listen to podcasts like this, and you can plan your next trip without the usual hassle. If you're willing to invest the time and focus on your travel plans, you can do the dirty work up front and enjoy a worry-free vacation. This has been another episode of A Slacker's Guide podcast. Again, I'm your host, Achilles Penn, and see you next time.
This episode of A Slacker's Guide podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more do-it-yourself strategies and tactics to tackle the most challenging project you always dreamed of taking on. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you in the next episode.